Welcome to Monza for the explosive opening race of racers of a certain vintage. Payne is on pole, born second. Thommo third. 14 Opala 86ers ready for 30 minutes of madness, featuring our new bizarrely peaceful sponsor, Whispering Pines. Green flag drops and we are racing now. Incredible start from Daniel Bourne in car 2. He hooks up the rear tyres, beautifully, aggressively dives down the inside of Payne's Opala and snatches the absolute lead into turn 1.
You really need a pristine getaway in these heavy classic machines. Bourne managed his clutch bite point perfectly there. 34 minutes of pure Monza slipstreaming absolutely awaits these brave racing drivers.
And expect utter madness today, and our brand new title sponsor, the Whispering Pines Centre for Inner Peace, has officially mandated strict Zen driving standards for the grid. No aggressive steering, just mindful spiritual throttle application. Hilarious. Oh, Bourne gets incredibly clumsy exiting the tight chicane. He practically parked it. Payne says thank you very much, sweeping right past to effortlessly reclaim the lead of this race. The misery immediately continues for Bourne. Thommo, running the number 3 livery, catches that massive slipstream and brutally barges past him to steal second place. Bourne is dropping like a stone.
Looking down the order, Muzzer looks remarkably relaxed out there in car number 82. You have to wonder if the bizarre pre-race meditation sessions mandated by Whispering Pines actually worked for him. He is keeping his steering input so smooth, totally avoiding the typical frantic tyre scrubbing we normally see from him during these incredibly chaotic opening laps around the famous Monza circuit.
Smooth steering or not, Muzzer is certainly on the absolute charge. He slots right into the slipstream and decisively forces his way past Jaavib to boldly snatch 4th position brilliantly away.
I've heard strong paddock rumours suggesting the sponsor heavily altered every single morning routine today, forcing them to drink herbal tea before a race like this means chaos is definitely brewing.
Listen to this brilliant radio transmission. One driver just screamed, "My crew chief is playing flute music over the comms. Make it stop right now." These are absolutely bizarre scenes today. You cannot expect racing drivers to find their braking points while being serenaded by a soothing woodwind instrument down the straights. What utter, absolute hilarious madness. Bourne shakes off the flute music. He gets entirely alongside Thommo through the draft, fights hard and aggressively reclaims that second place.
Sock Racer is incredibly busy, fighting side by side against Jaavib and now attacking MTG right ahead.
Disaster strikes. Sock Racer suddenly stops dead on the circuit. ATI boy sweeps past him easily to take 6th position.
Sock Racer finally gets moving again, but the damage is totally done. Clinton Norchi, New Order, Muzzer, Hounding and Grumpy One all ruthlessly demote him downwards as he desperately scrambles to recover lost momentum. Thommo is neatly tucking himself right into the powerful slipstream behind Daniel Bourne's car. He is analysing exactly where Bourne is weakest, preparing to utilise the aerodynamic tow down these immensely long Monza straights to launch a calculated counter-attack very soon today.
Thommo is swarming all over Bourne's gearbox. He is darting around inside the mirrors, desperately trying to mentally break him and force an uncharacteristic mistake under this immense sustained racing pressure.
The sponsor promised them total enlightenment, Martin, but forcing these naturally aggressive racing drivers to drink hot chamomile tea instead of strong coffee is causing a predictable rebellion throughout the entire pit lane right now.
Forget the tea, Thommo only thirst for second place. He is hunting for absolutely any opening, eagerly waiting for Bourne to drop his guard through these incredibly tricky high-speed chicanes.
I'm not surprised they are fighting the cars so much. Several teams actually filed official protests early this morning regarding the sponsor's absurd, mandatory tranquility ballast weights. They have completely ruined the delicate chassis balance, making the cars phenomenally sluggish during rapid directional changes through those crucial tight corners.
Yellow flags. Kenevo briefly stops before recovering, but Sock Racer beautifully seizes the momentary confusion to overtake him. Up front, Payne continues leading the pack, bravely holding off the relentless duo of Bourne and Thommo.
Thommo is remaining incredibly persistent here, refusing to simply let Daniel Bourne escape ahead.
Side-by-side action, Thommo muscles his way past Daniel Bourne. He is not done yet. Thommo uses the immense momentum to drag right alongside Payne, stealing the overall lead in a magnificent display of pure aggression.
That lead lasted absolutely seconds. Payne utilises the slipstream perfectly down the following straight, comfortably drafting back past Thommo to immediately reinstate himself into the premier position of this race today.
Dom Payne completely ignores the strict Zen mandate there. He is aggressively retaking the lead from Thommo with absolutely no regard for his inner piece. The Whispering Pines executives watching from the hospitality suite must be spilling their herbal tea in sheer horror at this blatant display of racing hostility. And here comes Daniel Bourne again. He blasts past Dom Payne for second place, but Payne stubbornly fights back on the outside. They are absolutely side by side into the braking zone.
Bourne seems remarkably calm despite these frantic battles. He is driving smoothly, almost like he knows a profound secret. While others are vigorously wrestling their steering wheels, his inputs remain incredibly measured, fully neutralizing the typical chaotic energy of a Monza slipstream right now.
Dom Payne brilliantly outbrakes Daniel Bourne, emphatically snatching second place back.
Having dispatched Bourne, Dom Payne instantly fixes his total focus securely onto the rear bumper of Thommo ahead. He knows he cannot afford to let the leader build any significant aerodynamic gap.
I'm hearing the Whispering Pines representatives are intently watching Daniel Bourne very closely right now. What exactly was brewing inside his pre-race tea this morning? He is gliding around the circuit with a deeply suspicious, incredibly fast level of total serenity.
We have a massive three-way slipstream train forming down the main straight. Dom Payne is eagerly riding in the aerodynamic wake of Thommo, while Daniel Bourne intelligently positions himself right behind Payne. They are perfectly punching a huge hole through the air, dragging each other towards the braking zone at terrifying maximum velocities.
Disaster for Grumpy One. He dramatically spins his classic machine completely around, exiting the notoriously difficult Parabolica corner today.
That unforced error crucially allows Sock Racer to gratefully sweep past into 12th position. Fortunately, Grumpy One manages to carefully rejoin the racing surface without sustaining any heavy impact against those intimidating barriers.
Further up the road, ATI Boy is swarming absolutely everywhere. He is darting left and right, desperately searching for a clean way to forcefully muscle past MTG for 5th place today.
The radio messages remain utterly bizarre, Martin. Another driver just shouted, "I cannot drive like this. My steering wheel smells entirely like fresh lavender." These unbelievable scenes highlight how this bizarre inner peace initiative has monumentally distracted the drivers. They are losing crucial focus on their critical braking points because of fresh floral scents.
Daniel Bourne has totally shaken off the floral distractions. He is mercilessly hounding Thommo for second place, aggressively filling his mirrors and piling on the immense pressure at every single braking zone. The battle for podium positions remains absolutely fierce.
Bourne is running incredibly close now, absolutely glued to the rear bumper of Thommo's car. He is perfectly maximising the aerodynamic draft, saving his tyres while eagerly waiting to boldly strike soon. We must remember the mandatory pit stops looming very shortly. They must change all 4 tyres during the stop around this high-speed circuit, successfully executing the overcut strategy by running deep into the window on aging rubber is absolutely king. The precise timing of these stops will ultimately decide today's overall race victor.
Just confirming the current standings, Dom Payne leads Thommo, Bourne, Jaavib, MTG, ATI Boy, Clinton Norchi, New Order, Muzzer, Rafin, Hounding, Sock Racer, Grumpy One, and finally Kenevo behind.
Absolute chaos. Thommo touches Dom Payne and spectacularly spins at Parabolica.
He is facing the wrong way. Jaavib, MTG and ATI Boy all managed to instinctively evade his stationary vehicle, successfully demoting him downwards immediately.
Muzzer capitalises too. He bravely forces his car down the inside as Thommo finally gets moving again, cleanly snatching 7th place away today. This is a completely disastrous sequence of events for Thommo right now.
That clumsy touch at Parabolica completely shatters any remaining inner piece. The furious teams are aggressively screaming at the sponsor, rightfully blaming these forced relaxation techniques for dulling crucial driver reaction times.
Race Control is officially investigating Whispering Pines. Did they secretly tamper with Thommo's calming radio feed right before the corner? This entire situation has escalated into a fully blown international motorsport scandal.
To make matters worse, the sponsor has just enthusiastically offered a massive cash bonus for the most mindful overtake of the race. It is a completely ridiculous, utterly tone-deaf promotional stunt.
ATI Boy is absolutely having none of this mindfulness nonsense. He is securely glued to the rear bumper of MTG, completely filling his mirrors and plotting a deeply aggressive manoeuvre to forcefully steal 4th place at the very next opportunity.
By maintaining this intensely close proximity, ATI Boy is systematically attempting to force a crucial mistake from MTG. The psychological pressure of constantly seeing a massive Opala filling your rear view mirrors at these speeds is incredibly difficult to manage.
Muzzer vigorously catches the slipstream behind Clinton Norchie down the straight. They go absolutely wheel to wheel. Muzzer aggressively fights his way past Clinton Norchie, beautifully completing the pass for sixth position in a brilliant display of pure, unadulterated, old-fashioned racing combat.
Muzzer impressively secures sixth position. He most definitely ignored the absurd mindful overtake rule during that aggressive manoeuvre. He relied entirely on pure, sharpened racing instinct, completely bypassing any forced spiritual calmness to decisively execute a highly technical and wonderfully ruthless pass under heavy braking pressure.
At the very back of the pack, Kenevo is absolutely refusing to let Grumpy One escape his sights. He is furiously chasing him down, completely determined to drag himself away from 14th place and mount a legendary comeback in this bizarre racing event.
Kenevo realises that retaining contact with Grumpy One's slipstream is absolutely crucial here. If he drops out of that aerodynamic draft, he will be stranded entirely alone on these massive straights, bleeding vital seconds and ruining his overall race strategy.
He is throwing his classic Opala left and right, frantically trying to completely disorientate Grumpy One. Kenevo wants a mistake badly, actively pressuring him into overcooking a crucial braking zone and sliding wide across the increasingly treacherous Monza curbs today.
Kenevo continues heavily applying that unrelenting psychological pressure, expertly looming large within Grumpy One's mirrors through the sweeping corners.
They are absolutely side by side. Kenevo bravely commits to the move, fighting fiercely alongside Grumpy One through the apex. He cleanly overtakes him for 13th position in a spectacular display of late braking mastery. The fans in the grandstands are loving this phenomenal wheel-to-wheel combat at the back of the grid, entirely ignoring the ridiculous inner peace mandate that the title sponsor foolishly tried to enforce today.
Moving our focus slightly upwards, New Order has become absolutely attached to Clinton Norchie's rear bumper. He is flawlessly matching his braking points, patiently analysing his defensive lines before attempting an overtake soon.
The chaos dramatically escalates. Trackside officials are physically raiding the Whispering Pines VIP hospitality tent as we speak. This farcical sponsorship deal has completely imploded, delivering pure drama and sensational controversy instead of the promised spiritual enlightenment to our race.
To summarise the current chaos, Payne comfortably leads Bourne, Jaavib, MTG, ATI Boy, Muzzer, Norchie, New Order, Thommo, Rafin, Hounding, Sock Racer, Kenevo, and finally Grumpy One. Meanwhile, New Order continues relentlessly applying immense pressure onto the back of Clinton Norchie for 7th.
Yellow flags waving again. Grumpy One has unfortunately stopped his car on the racing circuit. Wait, he manages to cautiously get moving again, thankfully avoiding what could have been a massively dangerous high-speed collision.
Returning to the midfield action, New Order is remaining incredibly persistent against Clinton Norchie. The subtle weight transfer through these tight chicanes requires absolute precision, and New Order is demonstrating phenomenal car control while trying to force a tiny error from Norchie.
New Order heavily sizes him up, frantically, desperately searching for an opening into the chicane.
They run fiercely side by side. New Order audaciously attempts to execute the overtake, but Clinton Norchie defends his territory brilliantly, successfully fighting back on the exit to safely retain 7th position today.
Unbelievable paddock rumours incoming. Apparently the sponsor secretly distributed focus-enhancing engine oils to select competitors. This could quickly transform into a massive, unprecedented cheating scandal for this historic championship right now.
If those experimental synthetic oils are genuinely deemed illegal by the strict scrutineers, half the starting grid could realistically face immediate disqualification after this race completely finishes. The stewards will be thoroughly inspecting everything within Park Firm later.
Back to the intense racing. New Order violently catches the aerodynamic draft once again, violently sucking right up to the rear bumper of Clinton Norchie's classic machine today.
This magnificent battle rages onwards. They are racing aggressively side by side down the incredibly fast straightaways. New Order is utilising every single trick within his vast repertoire to firmly break Norchie's remarkably stubborn defensive rhythm before the braking zone approaches.
New Order firmly hooks himself directly into the slipstream.
Meanwhile, up towards the lead pack, Jaavib is driving an incredibly sensational race. He is persistently challenging Daniel Bourne for 2nd position, pushing his tyres right to their absolute limit while beautifully navigating the intricate demands of this historic circuit.
Jaavib is completely filling Bourne's mirrors. They aggressively run side by side through the dangerous braking zone, and Jaavib brilliantly outbrakes him to forcefully snatch 2nd place right away from Bourne today.
Jaavib emphatically snatches 2nd. He is fighting Daniel Bourne incredibly hard, completely and utterly ditching the mandatory Zen driving style proposed by the sponsor. This is exactly what we love seeing: pure, unfiltered, highly aggressive motorsport, passion overriding corporate nonsense.
Incredible drama unfolds. Jaavib boldly surges past Payne to brilliantly snatch the outright lead, just as Payne unexpectedly dives straight into the pit lane for his crucial mandatory stop today.
Payne brilliantly triggers an aggressively early pit stop. He aims to escape the dangerous overcut window, but perhaps he is also skillfully avoiding the sponsors' incredibly annoying pit lane meditation chanting.
Breaking news coming in, Whispering Pines officially threatens to completely withdraw their lucrative sponsorship if these drivers continually keep showing such relentless aggression. What an utterly spectacular organisational meltdown unfolding today.
These determined drivers simply do not care. They are fierce racers, not silent monks. This absurd inner peace experiment has completely failed.
Daniel Bourne absolutely ignores the politics. He vigorously tucks himself directly into the massive slipstream right behind our new race leader Jaavib, heavily preparing for an immensely powerful retaliatory strike.
Bourne looks incredibly suspiciously fast down these long straights. You genuinely have to wonder if he is the only competitor currently benefiting from the sponsor's highly controversial performance-enhancing gifts. His absolute straight-line speed advantage seems completely unmatched by anyone else out there right now.
Heavy danger again. Grumpy One has shockingly stopped on the circuit.
Thankfully, Grumpy One safely resumes his forward momentum without causing any severe disruption to the rapidly approaching midfield pack.
Jaavib leads Bourne. Meanwhile, yellow flags again. Grumpy One has bizarrely stopped his struggling car on the circuit again.
Grumpy One manages to get moving, but he repeatedly stops again. The car is behaving erratically, but he finally coaxed the reluctant engine back into life to carefully rejoin the race.
Grumpy One is fundamentally struggling out there. The mandatory meditation tapes playing repeatedly inside his helmet must be driving him utterly insane. It is incredibly difficult to nail your braking markers while listening to tranquil ocean sounds on full volume.
Muzzer is aggressively trying to force a crucial mistake from ATI Boy ahead. He is weaving intensely within the braking zones, maximising his intimidating presence to psychologically break his opponent and cleanly secure fourth place before the vital pit stops.
Side-by-side action. Muzzer brilliantly passes ATI Boy, then immediately dives into the pit lane.
Back at the absolute front, Daniel Bourne is totally glued to the back of Jaavib's leading car. He is precisely conserving his rubber, biding his time perfectly within the slipstream before unleashing a massive strategic assault for the overall victory.
Bourne continues piling on the relentless pressure. He is violently swarming all over Jaavib's rear bumper, heavily demanding an error from the leader as they desperately navigate this ferociously fast circuit.
Bourne and Jaavib are fearlessly playing a remarkably high-stakes overcut strategy here. By keeping their aging tyres on track, they are gambling their entire race outcome against the chasing pack.
Sensational drama unfolding. We have just witnessed the Whispering Pines CEO physically sneaking directly into Daniel Bourne's currently empty pit box. This behaviour is wildly suspicious. What on earth are they secretly preparing for his upcoming stop?
Despite wearing heavily degraded rubber, Daniel Bourne is absolutely refusing to let Jaavib escape his grasp. He is meticulously matching his lap times, maintaining crucial contact to ensure his powerful slipstream advantage remains fully intact down the long straightaways.
Bourne is incredibly glued to Jaavib right now. The tension is absolutely palpable. The spiritual peace mandate is a distant, hilarious memory as these two fiercely aggressively battle for supreme dominance. Bourne is stalking him relentlessly, continuously filling his mirrors and beautifully displaying magnificent, incredibly pure racing hostility. This is exactly why we absolutely love historic motorsport. No corporate nonsense can ever fully suppress the genuinely raw, brilliantly unadulterated racing spirit burning inside these phenomenal drivers.
Bourne stalks him beautifully through the sweeping corners, executing a flawless manoeuvre to reclaim the outright lead, but disaster strikes behind. Jaavib heavily spins his car at the treacherous Parabolica. He is stationary on the circuit. This chaotic incident has unfortunately collected a massive portion of the leading field. Debris is absolutely scattered everywhere, although thankfully Jaavib has miraculously managed to get his heavily damaged vehicle moving again under his own power today.
Amidst that sheer carnage, New Order fiercely pressures Thommo and successfully overtakes him for third place. Thommo immediately dives into the pits to escape this escalating madness and change his battered tyres.
Regarding Jaavib's spin, you have to genuinely ask if he was distracted by the sponsors' absurdly mandatory trackside incense burners they foolishly installed right beside the braking zone at Parabolica corner today.
Incredibly, Bourne and New Order have still not pitted. They are bravely stretching this massive overcut strategy to the absolute physical limit of their severely degraded and blistered historic racing tyres.
They absolutely must pit soon. However, Daniel Bourne's persistent pace remains inexplicably fast on these completely dead tyres. His lap times make virtually no logical sense today.
The powerful overcut is totally defying tyre physics.
Both Bourne and New Order surely must conclude their stints and pit this very lap. They simply cannot risk a catastrophic high-speed puncture around Monza while carrying this immense level of lateral cornering load today.
Just quickly reviewing the standings amidst this chaos. Bourne leads New Order, Payne, Muzzer, MTG, Jaavib, Thommo, ATI Boy, Hounding, Sock Racer, Clinton Norchi, Rafin, Grumpy One, and finally Kenevo down at the back. What an absolutely frantic, completely unpredictable and entirely mesmerising motor race we are beautifully witnessing here today.
Further back down the field, MTG is carefully stalking Muzzer through the technical corners. He is studying exactly where Muzzer struggles for traction, patiently preparing a calculated strike. Very shortly indeed today.
The paddock investigation dramatically escalates. Racing officials have reportedly discovered highly illegal lightweight aero parts secretly hidden inside the Whispering Pines hospitality tent. This spiritual journey has become criminally corrupt right now.
The prevailing rumour circulating the pit lane suggests they actually successfully bribed one specific driver with these prohibited lightweight components. They supposedly desperately wanted a guaranteed winner to forcefully promote their bizarre Zen lifestyle brand worldwide. If this shocking allegation is genuinely proven accurate, it represents a completely unprecedented level of corruption within this historic racing championship today.
Clinton Norchi is absolutely glued onto the rear bumper of Sock Racer. He is relentlessly hunting him down, furiously searching for a way past into 10th position today.
They run precariously side by side. Clinton Norchi aggressively fights Sock Racer, bravely utilising the slipstream to forcefully complete the decisive overtaking manoeuvre.
Massive contact. Clinton Norchi and Sock Racer violently collide while navigating the incredibly dangerous high-speed Ascari chicane. Debris goes absolutely flying everywhere.
Sock Racer is entirely out of the race. His heavily damaged vehicle has been completely officially retired.
An absolutely massive crash down at Ascari. So much for finding inner peace today. Total devastating mechanical destruction for poor old Sock Racer.
Clinton Norchi is completely losing his emotional cool over the team radio after that chaotic incident. It is entirely safe to say the force sponsor Zen Mandate is now officially dead.
Norchi is seeing the absolute red mist out there. We just heard him furiously screaming on the team radio, take this inner piece and completely shove it right in the bin.
I can confirm the Whispering Pines CEO has actually just been forcibly detained by paddock security personnel. The absolute truth regarding these highly illegal aerodynamic parts is finally coming out right now.
But exactly who did they bribe today? Just looking at Daniel Bourne's inexplicably dominant straight line speed advantage, I think we already have our highly controversial, incredibly scandalous answer here right now.
Clinton Norchi briefly halts his battered vehicle before cautiously continuing onwards.
Kenevo seizes the opportunity. He brilliantly drafts past the struggling Clinton Norchi to beautifully snatch 11th position, but Norchi stubbornly fights right back. They run absolutely side by side again today here.
Looking up the incredibly fast road ahead, there is a phenomenal three-way battle rapidly developing for the final podium position. Jaavib, Muzza and Thommo are all flying in incredibly close formation, desperately fighting for third place.
Thommo is absolutely frantic right now. He is aggressively fighting side by side with Muzza, desperately trying to mentally break him and violently force his way past into that highly coveted fourth position before the crucial laps completely expire today.
Thommo is smartly tucking his Opala deeply inside the powerful slipstream generated by Muzzer's car. He is conserving vital engine momentum, waiting patiently for the absolute optimal aerodynamic moment to finally launch his carefully planned, decisive overtaking manoeuvre right now.
He is fiercely looking absolutely everywhere for a clean way past. Thommo darts his car violently left and right, heavily filling Muzzer's mirrors with aggressive intent. This spectacular dogfight is completely ignoring any remaining spiritual Zen directives. It is just pure, unadulterated racing combat at its absolute finest, as both incredibly talented drivers fiercely refuse to yield even a single precious inch of asphalt.
This immense strategic battle between Thommo and Muzzer simply rages onwards.
Daniel Bourne continues leading. Payne, Jaavib, Muzzer, Thommo, MTG, New Order, Hounding, Rafin, ATI Boy, Kenevo, Clinton Norchi and Grumpy One, with Sock Racer unfortunately remaining our solitary confirmed official retirement.
Thommo is remaining absolutely glued to the rear bumper of Muzzer's car through these highly technical sweeping sectors, completely preventing him from building any comfortable breathing room or saving his tired tyres.
Grumpy One's classic vehicle is looking significantly worse for wear after all those earlier incidents. The bodywork is severely battered. This has turned into a deeply frustrating, incredibly chaotic and very stressful and miserable motor racing experience for him out there on this brutally unforgiving circuit.
Grumpy One carefully navigates past the notoriously treacherous Ascari chicane right now, nervously tiptoeing entirely around the exact section where Poor Sock Racer's thoroughly destroyed vehicle currently lays completely abandoned and broken today.
We have completely brilliant radio traffic just intercepted. Grumpy One cheekily broadcasted directly to his eliminated rival. Hey mate, nice parking spot over there, very mindful of you indeed. That is absolutely top tier, wonderfully sarcastic historic racing banter, directly amidst this deeply hilarious and highly chaotic spiritual team sponsorship fiasco.
Returning to the intense podium fight, Muzzer is systematically trying to force a mistake from Jaavib ahead. Simultaneously, Thommo is relentlessly attempting to force a critical error from Muzza. It is a phenomenally high-pressure, high-speed chain reaction of immense psychological warfare playing out vividly across these incredibly challenging Italian corners right before us here today.
Muzza violently weaves under heavy braking, desperately pressuring Jaavib into a disastrous...
Thommo is entirely refusing to let Muzza escape up the road. If Muzza successfully clears Jaavib, Thommo will be disastrously left behind, completely losing the vital aerodynamic toe required to comfortably stay within podium contention during these critical closing stages of this fascinating, deeply chaotic, historic motor race at the magnificent Monza circuit here with us all right now.
Muzza lunges aggressively.
And Thommo instantly responds by lunging directly towards Muzza. He is forcefully demonstrating his presence, trying to completely shatter Muzza's focus while he is actively attempting to analyse Jaavib's defensive lines ahead. This is incredibly complex racing today.
Muzza, absolutely.
Thommo is sharply analysing every single steering input from the cars ahead. He is patiently looking for any available trajectory to execute a massive double overtake if Muzza and Jaavib happen to disastrously collide during their fierce battle.
Muzza remains absolutely locked in a sensational scrap against...
Simultaneously, Thommo continues meticulously exploring different lines through the corners, desperately trying to unearth a creative geometric path to successfully complete a pass around the stubbornly defensive Muzza.
Muzza brilliantly flatly refuses to allow Jaavib any comfort.
And exactly the same applies directly behind them. Thommo is firmly refusing to let Muzza escape his clutches, creating an incredibly tense, high-speed stalemate forming right on the circuit.
Muzza stubbornly, violently sticks to the absolutely rapid pace of...
Thommo is continuously applying that immense psychological pressure onto Muzza. He is utilising the massive aerodynamic draft perfectly, conserving his crucial tyre life while thoroughly preparing for a decisive late race attack.
Muzza is absolutely glued. They run intensely side by side into the chicane. Muzza bravely executes the move and cleanly overtakes Jaavib for third. But Jaavib fights straight back instantly. He boldly grabs the slipstream, violently darts back down the inside, and beautifully reclaims third position in an incredibly stunning display of fierce, historic racing today.
It is now officially confirmed within the paddock. Whispering Pines deliberately bribed Daniel Bourne with those highly illegal aerodynamic parts to falsely ensure a dominant victory. This massive technical scandal completely ruins the integrity of his race, regardless of where he eventually crosses the final finish line here today.
Meanwhile, Thommo is still frantically battling with Muzza right behind that leading trio. Absolute chaos everywhere you look today.
Confirming the standings quickly. Bourne, Payne, Jaavib, Muzza and Thommo lead.
Muzza fiercely grabs that massive slipstream directly behind Jaavib once again.
And Thommo remains utterly glued to the back of Muzza. They are running completely side by side at maximum velocity. The sheer lack of aerodynamic drag these classic cars produce, while drafting makes these intricate defensive manoeuvres phenomenally difficult to execute perfectly under such immense sustained braking pressure today.
Thommo tucks his classic machine right back into the massive aerodynamic draft behind Muzza. He is forcefully preparing an absolutely monstrous lunge as they rapidly approach the incredibly tight, highly demanding braking zone together today.
They run fiercely side by side once more. Thommo attempts a highly ambitious overtake, but Muzza fights back brilliantly on the preferred outside line to successfully retain his precious fourth position amidst this deeply chaotic racing spectacle today.
Grumpy One's brilliant radio message is still making the paddock laugh. Hey mate, nice parking spot, very mindful. That beautifully sarcastic humour is absolutely exactly what this bizarrely stressful race required today.
It is utterly disgraceful that Daniel Bourne willingly accepted this illegal bribe simply to become their artificially dominant Zen champion. This represents a massive, unprecedented scandal for this highly respected historic series.
He is currently leading the race, but will he actually keep this tainted victory once the furious stewards completely tear his car apart inside the inspection garage immediately after the checkered flag?
The entire grid is justifiably furious. You can fully expect massive, highly coordinated official protests to be lodged against Bourne by every single competing team within the paddock later this busy evening.
This utterly ridiculous inner peace centre brought absolutely nothing but total chaotic warfare and deep racing corruption to beautiful Monza today. And
back on the circuit, Thommo is entirely refusing to let Muzzer escape safely into the distance ahead of him.
They are running fiercely side by side once again through the incredibly fast curves.
Thommo finally executes the move flawlessly. He beautifully utilises the inside line advantage to decisively overtake Muzza and firmly secure fourth position during these extremely tense moments.
But Muzza absolutely refuses to completely surrender. He aggressively fights right back around the demanding outside, keeping his heavy classic vehicle pinned entirely alongside Thommo. They are spectacularly battling side by side, perfectly demonstrating the genuinely raw, unfiltered, completely unrelenting fighting spirit that makes this incredible historic motorsport championship so unbelievably magnificent to completely witness here safely today now.
Muzzer is deeply tucked right back into the massive aerodynamic draft of Thommo's car. He is precisely measuring the closing speed, heavily preparing for one final desperate lunge towards the checkered flag.
Looking up front, Daniel Bourne is incredibly over 8, completely uncontested seconds ahead of Dom Payne right now. That blatantly illegal aerodynamic pace is heavily showing itself. He is utterly cruising towards a deeply controversial and highly disputed overall victory.
He is comfortably coasting towards the finish line, but the severe wrath of the steward's room absolutely awaits him immediately after he parks his completely illegal machine inside the strict Park Ferme.
What an absolutely spectacular, totally hilarious failure for the Whispering Pines Inner Peace Initiative today. The entire sponsorship campaign was just a massive, deeply corrupt, completely fraudulent scam from the very beginning.
Reflecting upon today's chaos, it is remarkably sobering how Parabolica claims so many unfortunate victims. It remains a brutally unforgiving, highly demanding historic corner that continuously punishes even the slightest momentary miscalculation.
Daniel Bourne is finally on the massive home straight. The passionate Italian crowd is absolutely heavily booing our deeply corrupt race leader as he aggressively approaches the fast approaching finish line today.
He is triumphantly celebrating his dominant victory, remaining entirely blissfully unaware that his bizarrely fraudulent Zen sponsor has just been officially arrested by local authorities down inside the chaotic paddock right now.
The checkered flag furiously waves. Daniel Bourne crosses the line to officially take the deeply controversial outright win of this absolutely chaotic Monza race.
Dom Payne brilliantly secures second.
Jaavib phenomenally brings it home for third, ahead of the fiercely battling Thommo in fourth and Muzzer in fifth.
A wonderfully solid, highly respectable drive completely secures sixth place for MTG out there.
New Order brilliantly crosses the line to successfully secure a highly commendable seventh position after surviving all that midfield madness.
Hounding manages to effectively navigate the widespread chaos to safely bring his classic Opala home in eighth position, comfortably finishing ahead of Rafin, who solidly claims ninth place after a remarkably quiet but thoroughly consistent racing performance today.
Kenevo beautifully rounds out the top 10. ATI Boy finishes his highly chaotic race in 11th, while the completely frustrated Clinton Norchi finally drags his severely battered vehicle home 12th.
Grumpy One thankfully survives to claim 13th position. Meanwhile, poor Sock Racer remains our solitary official retirement after that absolutely massive, highly destructive high-speed collision heavily ended his racing afternoon.
That officially concludes our spectacularly wild opening race. Daniel Bourne departs as our highly controversial championship leader, but the deeply experienced Dom Payne will absolutely apply immense pressure next week.
Is this the definitive beginning of an incredibly bitter rivalry? Stay entirely tuned worldwide